with LA going 3-5 during that stretch. So Shannon, will he save the Lakers?
Save, I think he makes them better. He changes the entire dynamic. Skip, now you put guys back in their role because Carmelo hadn't been the same in the starting lineup as he was, Skip, coming off the bench. Now we have shooters, Malik Monk, Wayne Ellington. Guys play their role now. So I think, and look, Skip, we're only, 16 games into the season? Mm-hmm. So we still got, 64 games, 65 games still to play.
8-8.
Good.
That's not like a Jason Garrett
We're
season.
good.
You're Jason Garrett.
66 games to play, and you already in panic mode.
The old 8-8 fakers. Okay.
There you go.
Well, you just made a case. He is going to save the Lakers.
There's nothing to save. You make it. Hold on. Now, if there were 76 games and they needed these all 10 games to get into the playoffs, I can say save. It's 66 games left, Skip. So there's nothing to panic about. If he's going to turn this thing around, yes, he'll figure it out. He will figure it out. He will get it going. We've already talked about. We know it's a daunting task to do it. I believe AD will play better with LeBron on the court. Russ will have the ball less in his hands, and with those shooters around him, yes, it starts tonight. They win tonight in Boston. I got 2 cases waiting on you, but you won't be scared.
Really?
Yeah.
You want 2 cases on this? Really? Okay. Done.
Okay.
Done. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like that.
The Celtics have underachieved, but I don't think they'll underachieve tonight.
Everybody trying to be.
I will give you this. I believe LeBron circled this date in this game for his return because he loves to play in that building. Am I right?
Yep.
Arguably, he played the 2 greatest games of his career in that building.
You can define his 2 greatest games? I mean, when you've been that great, I can't tell you. It's been so many of them.
Yeah, I thought his greatest game was Game 3 there, all the way back in his final playoff series, first go-round in Cleveland. They went up 2-1 on a Friday night, and he was extraordinary. He was unstoppable. Of course, then he folded, as you recall, in Games 4, 5, and 6. I don't know what happened. The owner accused him of quitting. I don't know. There was something about he had to be sedated. I don't know. But that game on that Friday night, that was a work of art game. And so I think he loves the feel of it. I think he loves the basketball heaven that Boston has always been. I just think he chose this to have a big game. But I think the other team is a little better right now, and I think it will show itself tonight that it'll just be a little better. So I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you. But first of all, Skip, I guess you forgot in 2019, Game 7 in the Eastern Conference.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
That was a huge
and you remember that, and you remember the game, the stare-down game, 45, 15, and 5, 7, something like that?
Yep. I'm just saying that night, because the Celtics were still pretty much the Celtics at that point.
And we broke them up.
Big 3. Yeah.
We broke them up.
They were still in their heyday. Okay, so right now it starts. The clock starts ticking on the LeBron James relationship with Russell Westbrook. He handpicked Russ just as he handpicked Anthony Davis. I believe that LeBron James has a Russell Westbrook problem that he's going to have to try to solve starting tonight.
Yeah.
And then how long will he stay healthy? And I'm going to knock on wood before I even talk about this, but it's a legit concern because he's in his 19th year and he's played the 3rd most minutes of anybody who's ever played in the National Basketball Association.
Well, we see over the last 3 years, the injuries have come with greater regularity.
Yep.
And they keep him out for extended periods of time. So it used to be a back, keep him out a week, 2 weeks. Now it's a month and a half.
Okay, so speaking of backs, I don't think he can play back to back anymore. He's got to take it off, and he's got to admit publicly he is load managing.
He ain't got to admit nothing.
Yes, he does. Because it's the only way for them to get through this year. Because if you aren't careful, if you pull your groin or turn your ankle or whatever it might be, and I'm not wishing it upon anybody, but if you do, it is taking him longer and longer to recover from that, as you suggest, because that's where he is. 19 years of doing this. Then they're going to get in more and more trouble because, to me, Russ and AD just got exposed as not that guy and not that guy.
Yeah.
I'll do them. I put them in the wrong order. To your point, Anthony Davis just got exposed. With no LeBron, he just can't carry this team. I don't know what it is. He does not have those kinds of intangibles on a nightly basis. It's somewhere in his makeup.
It's his mindset.
Well, that all goes to intangible. What are you made of? What is your how does your motor rev on a nightly basis? Some guys can just turn their motor on and it just goes. Russ's motor, it goes into overdrive night after night after night. He never not plays hard. He's always guilty of playing too hard on the offensive end.
Playing hard and playing smarter, two entirely different things.
Thank you. Bingo. So the problem is they both reveal themselves as we can't, even as a tandem, we can't carry this team without LeBron because they have looked pretty hapless to me.
They do.
And at Milwaukee in the fourth quarter, they just look lost.
Yeah.
They couldn't buy a three-point shot. They go 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter and they missed their last 16 threes. Somebody needed to step up and take a stand and say, I got this, because the game was there for them.
That's what LeBron is there for.
Okay, well,
He's the calming,
I got it.
He's the calming effect.
Okay, well, maybe he's got to be the initiator here. Maybe he's going to have to be in more offensive attack mode in fourth quarters. He's got to be more of a closer than he's ever been, because I don't see a closer on this team.
It is LeBron.
Okay, well, is it?
Yeah.
Well, he's never been before.
Yeah, don't do that, Skip.
Okay.
We're not going to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already done, and there have been a lot of teams that you can add on it, but you can't reinvent it. He's done what he's done. So you trying to tell everybody that he hasn't been, that is just not true.
Okay.
That's factually incorrect.
It is factually correct, but we don't have time for me to validate that. But the point is this: he's going to have to figure out the guy that he handpicked, the guy who is nothing but a solo act of a stat machine, who plays about 80% of the time completely out of control and gets away with it. The guy who's leading the league already in turnovers, no surprise, who's led it 4 times and been second 4 times in turnovers, who's still shooting 30% from 3, who's a liability of a superstar jump shooter. You have to figure out, how can you win with that guy as your quote-unquote point guard? Well, I think it's time for LeBron to reclaim that position.
Oh, he will. I mean, LeBron's going to come back. There's no doubt in my mind that this team is going to be better. It will look different than what it's looked over the past 2 weeks since LeBron has been out. But we also understand that, I don't care what anybody says. They can say all they want to. Let Russ be Russ. You ain't winning with Russ being Russ.
I agree.
Because nobody's ever won with him before.
Okay, so if LeBron takes over his rightful position of running the show for the Lakers, the position he was born to play, point guard for the Lakers, the next Magic Johnson, I'll give you that. Where does that leave Russell Westbrook? Well, it can't leave him on the bench, although that's where he belongs. He belongs as the initiator of the shock troops, the Manu Ginobili of this team, but he's not going to sit still.
Man, you know that ain't what happened.
He's not going to sit still. So he's got to get his 35 minutes playing off the ball, seriously. So now you're up to your greatest challenge, right? Never before has LeBron been tested like this as the leader of a team to try to figure out how to integrate Russell Westbrook as your off guard, as your 2 guard. I don't even know what you call him. He's going to be on the floor. He's going to be a liability on defense. He's going to be a liability on offense, because his man, especially in the fourth quarter, is going to dare him to shoot 3. So his man's going to drop back into the paint and say, well, AD and LeBron, you can't come in here because I'm going to help.
Right.
And we're daring him to shoot 3s.
Yes.
Okay? All right. So how do you rise above that?
LeBron will figure it out.
Will he?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's possible.
Pretty figured out.
And I still think there's a chance that he did handpick Russell Westbrook because he's going to be the ultimate scapegoat for the quote-unquote GOAT.
Ain't no scapegoat.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't get done.
Okay, so bottom line to this discussion is LeBron has to stay pretty healthy the rest of the year.
Yeah, no question.
So my scale of 1 to 10 on him staying healthy, I'll put it at a 5, and I hope I'm wrong about that. But it's somewhere in the 5 range. Yeah. Because if he has another extended...
I'll go 6 or 7.
6 or 7? Well, if he has another 2, 3, 4 weeks, it's man, over. I'm telling you, you're going to struggle to even make the playoffs.
They'll be the 15th seed.
Okay? Because the Warriors have exploded out of nowhere.
Right. I don't think they're catching the Warriors.
Okay, all right. But there's still a bunch of other teams.
Right. And I don't know if you noticed this, but Phoenix just won 10 games in a row.
They did. I agree.
Yeah, so
and I don't know if you noticed this, but the Clippers just won 7 in a row. Well, they did.
All right, guys, time to switch gears back to Skip's Cowboys, because will Michael Parsons be starstruck when he faces off against Patrick Mahomes this weekend? We've got a surprising quote from the rookie after the break. Don't go anywhere.
No